The 1997 NBA playoffs. Game is on the line. Kobe Bryant, Mr. Mamba, much the clutch. Yeah, he drives down, pulls a 4 mid-range jumper, air ball. But all right, it's no problem, man. Overtime, get a chance to kind of redeem himself, but then he airballs again, and then again. But it was 4 air balls total in a losing series 4-1. Most players would have been crushed. They probably would have hesitated after the first one and questioned themselves after the second one. But Kobe, man, he kept shooting it and letting it fly. That moment didn't break his confidence. It really built it. This moment teaches a very valuable lesson that mental toughness isn't about running from discomforts and the failures. It's about leaning into it and moving in spite of how you feel and what situation that you're in. So today I'm breaking down mental toughness as I understand it, like what it is, what goes into it, and how you can build it. Mental toughness almost has nothing to do with being loud or being the loudest, being intense and being built different. This misunderstanding is costing you your confidence, you being consistent, and honestly, it's really costing you peace of mind. You're not mentally weak. You just haven't been taught what mental toughness actually is. Because you working hard, but you're tying up and you get nervous in the games. One mistake turns to three, and that turns you sitting on the bench. You start overthinking, you stop trusting yourself, and that leads to more turnovers. That kind of sounds familiar. Most coaches say something about everybody working hard and everybody grinding 24/7. It's all about suffering and being bored with the process. And then they throw out Mamba mentality with no real context, no real teaching. And that's because they're not teaching it right and it's actually hurting you. So let me break down these two different approaches to mental toughness. So you have person A. They numb everything and they just push through. They grind no matter what. There's no feelings involved. There's no breaks. They fight to get every single thing done every single time. Then you got person B. They feel most of their emotions, but they still figure out a way to fight through it. Most people see person A as mentally tough, but here's the problem. Person A, they're the one that get burnt out faster. They become less empathetic and then they're scraping the bottom of the tank, the bottom of the barrel for motivation and fuel to keep going. It's like putting $2 in a tank of your car for gas and trying to drive from Alabama all the way to Portland. It's constant stress. You're always having to stop and put more gas in the tank, and you're hoping you can make it to the next station, which is really crazy and stressful. But person B, the second person, they fill up their tank. So they can breathe a little bit easier during the trip, and they can go a further distance and not be as burnt out during that drive and during the journey. So person A wins in the short term. They probably going out getting out faster, but person B wins long term. And this is why you can work hard, but still crack under pressure when it's game time. And why you can care so much about the game and care so much about your craft, but still doubt yourself at the end of the day. So mental toughness, the way I define it, is staying focused on what matters, even when everything else try to pull you off course. You stay locked in during a few bad plays and during the bad stretches at times. You don't let the noise take you off your. So think about what the opposite is. You let any little or major inconvenience throw you off course and then staying off. Like the question isn't whether you're mentally tough or not. It's really how mentally tough are you on this scale. So mental toughness isn't just like this one thing. It's made up in the way I see it of 5 different pieces. And here's what most people miss. You don't have to be great or at level 10 in all of the areas. You just need to be mindful of which one you're the weakest in and then start working and building on that. So the first piece that matters a whole lot in mental toughness is really about your focus and your decision making. So what you're paying attention to and what you're letting go of. Focus on the goal. Focus on the present moment that you're in and not letting the feelings and the random things you can't control disturb you, get in the way. Mental toughness is in the many moments and like the small decisions in throughout the day and throughout the game, throughout your life. The goal is to have, at the end of the day, you want to have more votes or more uh, strings that say you're pulling you in the direction of the version of you that makes you mentally tough. So at the end of the day, you want to say that you're focused in every decision that you made, or most decisions that you made, lean towards you being a more mentally tough person. The second thing is resilience. And I define resilience as being able to bounce back or how you respond when problems come up. Think about like a rubber band, it snaps back. The difference is that when you think about resilience and after dealing with the situations that, oh, I things went this way, incident happens, and then I went up and I got better. Think about how I hit a game winner and you thinking, oh, I got a high for a minute, but then I come back down. Well, you don't come back down to your normal. You have a high and you come back down. Now you're above average now. Or the opposite happens and you have this moment happens, you lose the game winner and you drop now. You got better, but you might doubt yourself a little bit more. I don't care who it is. Usually you doubt yourself just a little bit like, man, I missed it. Can I hit the next one? Mental resilience is to be able to bounce back and respond better with that. It's like, I missed the first one. All right, cool. I'll come back for the second one. I made the first one, shoot. You better get ready for me. 'Cause I'm coming at you. I'm coming back at you now with the second one. That's what mental resilience is. Bouncing back and how you respond when problems come up. The more mental resilient you are, the more you can control yourself and get back to that baseline without getting too far off course for the negative. Third piece of mental toughness is mental endurance and mental stamina. It's basically how long you can endure. How thick of skin do you have? What is your pain tolerance when you're going through these things? So you have a long season or you have a long postseason. Can you mentally stay engaged and locked in during this season? March Madness hits. You already played a full season. You already played through conference play. Can you keep thugging it out and keep grinding through to make it always to the championship if you get to that point? Or think about if you're having a bad season. Man, it's a rough season. We already got blew out by 50 last game. We're already on under 500. We're probably not going to have a chance in the tournament. We might not have a chance in the conference play. How do you mentally respond? Can you keep fighting through, stay locked in, and stay focused in spite of how bad the season is? Then on the flip side, is you have to be mentally tough to stay locked in when you win. You've been beating everybody by 20 plus points. Your stars aren't playing in the fourth quarter or the last few minutes of the game. It's been pretty easy. You haven't had a close game most of the season, but can you stay locked in and stay focused in spite of all the success that you're having? That's what the great struggle with too. They have to figure out, can I deal with the mental endurance to stay locked in long enough during this season to make it finish through all the way to the finish line. The fourth piece is fortitude. Think about the courage to take the right actions. So recently, the word audacity has been hitting me a lot more and a lot lately. Just think about you in the basketball sense having the audacity to take the big shot, or do you always play it safe? Do you have it in you the courage and the boldness be be bold and just do that next thing, take the next spot? Because here's the piece of it that just because you're bold to take the shot, are you also bold enough to take the blame for the misses and for the mistakes? Like it's cool to be able to take the big shot, but you also have to live with the outcome of you can miss this shot too. You can take the blame of, oh, they shouldn't have did this, should have passed it, or should have shot this shot. That's what comes with it. That's what mental toughness people do. That's what the Kobe's and Jordans dealt with of like, oh, he missed this shot. But it's cool. I'm coming back for the next game for the next one. I think this is especially important because a lot of times you have an easy way out. Like you can quit and say, oh, uh, this isn't for me, so I can quit. Or you might sit back and say, well, it's their fault that they did something wrong. Can you take responsibility and accountability for things, even if it wasn't your fault? That's a piece of this mental fortitude that you have the courage to take the outcome, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's blame or responsibility. It's all on you at that point. But the thing to watch out for is confusing courage with kind of being crazy, I guess you can say. But you need to exercise wisdom, but still make the right plays because everything that goes like a game winning shot matters, whether it's the inbound passer, whether it's the person setting the screen, whether it's the person standing in the corner to be uh have the gravity, just being mindful of what they are to create spacing. Everybody plays an important role. So just as much courage as it takes to take the shot, it's just as much courage to make the right play. So don't think, oh, I'm the bold guy that can come in and just take the game winning shot. Well, you have the same boldness to make the game winning play too. So it's not just coming and taking the shot, but it's also making a great play a la LeBron James. The fifth piece of this is mental strength. Basically, how much can you endure, like the toll, like the capacity, the inner strength that you have. Mental strength is how much you can endure. How much can you take on before you hit your breaking point? How much weight, how much load can you put on you before you feel like this is too much? So think about it. If you having bad games, you having bad reps, the coach isn't playing you, you're dealing with injuries. How much can we put on your shoulders and stress can we put on you before you break? That's the how to find how strong you are. The last piece of this thing is mental adaptability, mental flexibility, being able to adjust to any situation in any environment, not being tied down to this is the way that all things have always been done. If this has always worked for me in the past, it's going to work for me moving forward. And I think this comes down to like this whole thing lately in this trend of saying my morning routine or my pregame routine. Are you able to still come out and perform and have a great day in spite of not going through your morning routine? Can you still have a great game and show up in spite of your pregame routine being trashed? Because if you're not, that means you're not as mentally flexible and adaptable to be able to flip to any situation that comes. So the star player comes out with the injury. Can you step up and play the next role? Can you step up and adapt your role? Or if the shot's not falling, can you adapt and do something else now? So these are the 6 pieces that go into being mentally tough. First is focus and decision making, very critical piece. What you decide to focus on and look at. Next is being mentally resilient. Can you bounce back like a rubber band when situation problems come up? Third piece is mental stamina or mental endurance. How long can you endure? Do you have the thick skin? What is your pain tolerance? Next is mental fortitude, the courage and boldness, the audacity to take the right action, the right steps. Fifth is mental strength. How much can you endure? What is your capacity? What is your breaking point? And six is mental flexibility, mental adaptability. What is your ability to adapt and change the situations or the environment that you put in? I really want you to get this because I struggled with this as a player. I was a huge Kobe fan growing up, and I thought I misunderstood mental toughness. I didn't really get it until now, and honestly, I'm still learning pieces and parts of it. But this is the beauty of this thing, man. You can still learn this now in a cleaner way than I'm just figuring out. And I'm not sharing this because I've mastered it. I'm sharing it because I'm practicing it with you. I failed as a player. I turned into a trainer now to give you the game that I wish I had when I was playing. So let's keep building this blueprint together and staying locked in with this because the more I learn, I want you guys to get to. So I'm not coming at this as the guy from up top that's just knowing everything. I'm coming as a guy who's in the journey with you. You're looking to the right, I'm looking to the left, and I'm picking up this piece and showing it to you. So how do you build mental toughness? I always talk about what it is and defining the piece that go into it, but now let's actually talk about how you actually build it and what goes into building it. First is perspective of the situation. So you're going to have good moments and you're going to have bad moments, depending on how you see it. You just see things as life. It is what it is. So you're going to have things that are quote unquote good and good, that things that are quote unquote bad. You choose to view how this thing goes. So this is a story I love, man. So long ago, there was this old Chinese farmer. He had a son who did his thing and fighting through everything they dealt with through the last season. They had one horse remaining. So one day, the horse that they had that ran away because the son forgot to lock the stable up for him. The neighbors heard about what happened. They was like, "Oh man, it's so sad, bro. Without the horse, it's gonna be hard for you to maintain the farm and do everything you got going on." That's dang, that's messed up. That's sad. The farmer replies, like, maybe. We'll see. The next day, the missing horse returned back. But he brought some homies with him. He brought like 6 other wild horses with him. And the son locked them up. He was like, okay, boom, now we got 7 horses. The neighbors heard what happened. They was like, oh man, that's so cool. That's dope, man. Like, you thought you lost one, but then you got 7 more. Man, that's crazy. You about to go to crazy work now. And all the horses about to be working for you this season. The farmer was like, maybe. I guess we got to see. The next day, the farmer's son, he was out there doing his thing and trying to tame the wild horses. Then he ended up falling off the horse and ended up messing up and breaking his leg. Neighbors again, I think this neighbor kind of messy. But anyway, neighbors heard what happened. They was like, dang, bro, that's sad. That's messed up. And, son got a broke leg. It's going to hurt you because you still got work to do for the season for farming. It's messed up. How you going to work? Farmer proud again. He was like, man, we'll see. I don't know. The next day, the army's coming around, trying to do the thing to collect soldiers for war. And obviously, you couldn't take the son because his leg was broke. Neighbors, once again, popping around saying, oh, dog, that kind of dope. Your son didn't get drafted to the war. That's fire. We ain't got to worry about him dying. He just got to recover from his leg, and it's all good. Farmer's like, I guess we'll see. The whole thing about this is that you would think that the farmer would have the same viewpoint as the neighbors. But the whole time he just like, life is life. There's no telling of what comes of this next thing. So you can choose to say, no bad things happen to me because everything works out in your good and in your favor. Or you can just say life is life and it is what it is. You can say everything has been terrible because everything happened to me has been bad and got me in the situation that I'm in now. So it depends on your viewpoint and how you choose to view the situation versus the situation taking over you and what you see it is. So your perspective shapes your life and the experiences, and that ends up shaping your mental toughness and how you're adapting to life. So I encourage you as a piece of something to take away from this is find a view that helps you win. If being a victim helps you win and seeing everything that's crappy that helps you win, hey, so be it. But if you choose to view things in a better light and see this as all helping to your good, do your thing. But that goes to the second piece of this is find a perspective for yourself. Do you do you view yourself as the victim in situations, or do you view yourself as a person who's the hero in your story who can overcome it all and can handle tough times? Think about the story that you're telling yourself throughout these problems. So one thing I tell myself is that I believe in my ability to figure things out. It's not about me being so great. It's not about me even know what to do right now. But I believe in my ability to figure things out. The the changing how you view yourself and the perspective that you view yourself in is a big piece in this. Because if you view yourself as a victim, you're going to keep viewing yourself as, oh, woe is me. Why does this keep happening to me? Why does God allow this to happen to me? Versus viewing yourself as a king, viewing yourself as a queen, viewing yourself as a person who can handle tough times as a superhero to your own story. It's like, man, things gonna be a crazy part of my story. It's gonna be a crazy part of my book. When they do my biography or my autobiography, it's gonna be crazy when they add this part in now. All this is determined on how you view yourself and you view the situation that you're in. So it's a lot easier to be mentally tough if you view yourself as a mentally tough person who can endure and you keep taking on this stuff and take on more strength and take on more flexibility and you take on more accountability. All this makes you more mentally tougher. The third piece is to zoom out and see the bigger picture. So a lot of times we skip over a lot of small things because we view it as insignificant. But something that's small as making a bed or doing chores around the house, we're like, oh, this is really nothing. It doesn't really matter. It's not the biggest deal in the world. But if you view this as just doing that, of course it's nothing. But if you zoom out and see the bigger picture, being able to make your bed every morning makes you more disciplined, adds the skill of being disciplined. So it's not an apples to apples comparison of saying, because I can make my bed, I'm going to be disciplined enough to go run every day. But it's something that you can pull into your current self and say, well, if I'm able to make my bed every morning, I might be able to get up and go train and I can be able to be disciplined and do this thing. So the micro skills that you're learning or what you're putting into the situation of, man, it sucks to make my bed. Man, it sucks to have to deal with running every day after practice or before practice. But the macro skill of being disciplined and the bigger skill of being adding to your confidence or your focus, whatever it is, all tied together. So it gives you more confidence. Remember, confidence is self-trust and trusting yourself. But you gain this confidence and self-trust by doing things you say you can do and stacking up the evidence that says I can do this thing. So yes, this is a small piece of confidence of making my bed that says I can be disciplined, but it's something that's proof and you know it's true. So zoom out and see the bigger picture. So all the workouts, all the healthy eating, the sleeping right, all the everything that goes into it is a fight in at the end of the day to be able to contend at the end of the season that says, I want to be a champion. So all the stuff you're doing in the preseason, early in the season, middle of the season, it seems like nothing in the moment, but in the bigger picture, grand scheme of things, all that stuff adds up to the end of the day where you can call yourself a champion. If you don't call yourself a champion, maybe because of stuff that you did in that small pocket. So zoom out and try to see the bigger picture of things. Yes, it's early in the season. Why would this thing matter right now? Because at the end of the day, at the end of the season, you want to be able to say, I did everything I could at this moment to be ready for myself at that point in time in the future me. And this is kind of going the opposite direction. But number four is zoom in and get very nitty gritty in the details, but zoom into the process and focus on what you can control. So you you can control getting up shots. You can't control if they all go in. You can control if you're running a lifting to stay in shape, but you can't control the guarantee that you get in the game. If you're doing all the rehabbing and prehabbing and the lifting, everything to be the top and peak shape you can be in, there's no guarantee that you won't get hurt. You know, Kobe said he was able to retire in peace because before the injury and during the injury and throughout his career, he did everything he could to try to get number 6 to tie Jordan, number 7 to beat Jordan. But he was comfortable with the end results because he know all the work that went into it, he's content with. But can you say the same thing? So are you able to live with the results? And if you judge yourself based off all the inputs that you put into it to get the goal. The fifth piece of mental toughness is enjoying the process. It's a long season. It's a long journey. It's a long process. It doesn't make sense to hate the entire journey, especially if you might not get the promise like you want to do. So you might as well figure out a way to enjoy the process, to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey too. You know, all the pains and problems that come with it become a little more manageable if you can figure out how to put a smile on your face from time to time. Enjoying the ride fuels your tank up to be able to stomach the down times, and especially if and when you don't win. So figure out a way to enjoy the process and make it feel like it's worth something because you enjoyed it all. The sixth piece to becoming more mentally tough is to be bold and take challenges. Once again, audacity is something that's been hitting me harder lately. And you can grow yourself mentally when you take more risk and you put yourself in slightly more uncomfortable situations. This thing called optimal zone of improvements. You just want to get a little bit outside of that zone of comfort to stretch yourself a little bit more to become a bigger and a better player and person that you are now. So let's say you're a level 6 level of confidence or a level 6 shooter or whatever it is. You want to stretch yourself to be like a 6.5, maybe a 7, just enough to where you're uncomfortable, but not too much to where you're going to fail every time. So find that sweet spot for you, what that is. So whether it's you saying, all right, I used to run uh, a mile every day. Let me run a mile and a half. Or I ran a mile in 7 minutes. Let me try to get it to 650. I used to get up 100 shots a day. Let me get up 120. Whatever it is, just stretch yourself enough to where you're not going to burn yourself out and do too much. And you're not going to stretch yourself out to where you're just failing all the time and you're now just losing your confidence. Be bold and take challenges. Be wise and be smart about how you do it too. This last piece might be the most important piece for this because this is where you actually start to use everything I've taught you before and now put it into your life. So it's report card time. All right. So 1 to 5. So give yourself a 1 if you just truly weak at it. 3, you're about average, and 5, you feel like you're elite, top tier at it. So when it comes to being focused and your decision making, can you stay locked in on what matters, or just do distractions pull you off course? So 1, you're like, you constantly distracted, you can't stay locked in, it's terrible. 3 is like, I can stay focused when things are going well, but it loses me a little bit when it comes to getting challenged. 5, I'm locked in on the real goal on what matters, no matter what. You can throw a bomb off right here. I'm locked in. I'm focused. I'm making good decisions. Give yourself a score, 1, 3, or 5, or 1 through 5. Second is resilience. Can you bounce back? Are you like a rubber band? Good, strong rubber band. So number 1, you hold on to mistakes and you stay down after things don't go your way. 3, you recover eventually, but it's a little bit slower. So you have a couple bad plays, but then it takes you a minute to bounce back a little bit. Number 5, when you just had a turnover, but you back on top of it and you snap back immediately. You reset like almost instantly. Get yourself a score. Number 3 is the endurance. How long do the hard times last? 1, you slack off and you quit when it gets a little uncomfortable, get a little hot in the kitchen, you automatically dip out. 3 is you stay committed for a while, but it takes a minute and you start fading out. 5 is, man, I can fight through the boredom. I can fight through the pain. I can fight through the ups and the downs. I'm locked in. Mental endurance, my stamina is built up. I'm locked in, G. Number 4 is that mental strength. How much can you carry? What's the capacity? What load can you carry? 1, you feel under pressure. You choke, you cracking, your emotions get the best of you, or the expectations weigh you down. 3, you can handle the pressure, you can handle some stress, but it's like, yeah, it's iffy on you. You can handle some, but not too much. Number 5, oh man, you built for it. You can handle the heavy emotional loads, heavy mental loads without it breaking you and tearing you down. 5 is fortitude, the courage, the audacity. When it's time to make a decision, do you have the courage to really make that thing? Number 1 is you hesitate, you kind of avoid it. So come to the game winning shot, I don't know, G, you might shoot it, but you hesitate for a minute, or you just pass it off. 3 is sometimes. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You might take the shot and you freeze, you hesitate, sometimes you 50-50 on it. But 5 is, hey man, this is my shot. Who else but me will take it? You step into the fear, you step into the pressure, and you take the risk consistently. Number 6 is your adaptability, your flexibility. What's the speed of your adjustment to things? Number 1, you get frustrated when things change. Like, things ain't going my way. You get really frustrated and it bothers you. 3 is, I'm a little bit slower to adjust, but I'm gonna adjust. Number 5 is you almost immediately adapt and you're pretty effective when new conditions and new things happen to you. So give yourself a score, man, out of 30. Rank yourself 1 through 5. Give yourself a score right here. So after you break all your stuff down, add everything up, is what your score means. So if you got a 26 through a 30, this is elite mental toughness. You top tier. You can perform pretty much in any condition. You're ready for a leadership role, like higher pressure situations. You good. Like you stay sharp. You stay on 10. You ready to go. If you got 21 through 25, you mentally strong. Pretty solid. You probably got 1 or 2 little things to probably clean up in uh just a little challenge, a little struggle, but you can get the job done. We're not concerned and worried about you all the time. You got a 16 through 20. You need to probably listen to this, spin it back again. So you're probably inconsistent. You have good days and you have bad days. You have times where your mental game is everything. And it's easy for you to do anything when things are going well. But when the bad times hit, you get a little more pressure, you don't know which way you're rocking. So probably pick like the two lowest ones where you start focusing on it and really developing from there. If you got 11 through 15, on the lower side of being the other side of the spectrum, being a little more mentally weak. Your mental game is probably the reason that you can't upgrade and do better in your game. You probably got the skills, you probably got the talent, but your mindset is what's holding you back. You gotta figure out how to work on this. Like this is red flag attention. Now, if you got anything lower, if you got 10 or lower, hey man, you need to get some help. Seriously, like get a mental performance coach, get sports psychologist, somebody, sports therapist to help you out because mentally you really got it. This is like probably more important than the skill, probably more important than your body. You really need to lock in and get your mental game right. Like start with the whatever one that can get you a win, honestly, whichever one can get you to the next level of your game. Figure out which one it is and start locking in on it right now. Lock in on it for real. But overall, look at the lowest score, and this is where you start. Start working on this for the next 30 days. So whichever area you were the weakest in, let's start locking in and building up upon this. Because mental toughness isn't about being perfect all across the board. It's about really knowing your spot. It's about knowing your weak spot and doing the best to strengthen that area. Because remember, being able to stay locked in and focus when things are going your best way. So spot this weak point, lock in on it, focus, make a decision to do it, and start working here. Because remember, Kobe, those 4 air balls, 97 playoffs, he didn't just have one of these figures out. He pretty much got to a point where he had all six. So he stayed focused on the next shot and not the last air ball. He was able to be resilient and bounce back possession after possession after possession. He had the mental fortitude to keep mentally fighting and persevering through the whole fourth quarter, through the overtimes, in spite of the mistakes that he made, in spite of the air balls that he had. He had the mental strength to take the load on and the burden of taking that clutch shot and taking the shots moving on forward in the overtime. And crowd probably got him crazy. Crowd probably wanted him bench. Coach probably taking heat, but he had the strength and the capacity to deal with it all. He had the fortitude to say, "Hey man, I'm gonna be bold and courageous right here. Keep showing up and keep shooting." When he could have passed a couple times, I went back and looked at the film. A couple times he probably could have. He was wide open and could have hesitated and probably drove in, made a pass. He said, "I'm shooting it." That's mental fortitude. The adaptability to say he just his game, just his mindset and approach in real time to say, instead of thinking about myself as a loser and as a failure, I'm still here. I'm Kobe. I put in the work. I trained for this moment. But that's why he's Kobe. And the thing is, we look at Kobe now and see the end result and think, oh, he's great. He's so clutch. But he wasn't born with all this being a 10. He took time to build it all up. He got to the point where he could say this at that point in time. So over time, one area at a time, one game at a time, one air ball at a time, he developed his game. And you can do the same thing too. So look at your lower score, and that's where you start to work. The next 30 days, lock in on this. Because once again, mental toughness is not about being perfect all the way across the board. It's about knowing your weak spot, locking in on it, and strengthening it. So what's your grade? What are you going to do about it?